Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are tonight's entertainment.
The BSN Network proudly presents the W.E.C.P. with your hosts,
Aaron Holiday
and Jerry Flynn, the heels of podcasting.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to episode 22 of W.E.C.P. I'm your host, Aaron Holiday. Rolling solo again. Jerry had some family stuff. I believe it was a surprise birthday party for his sister, so by the time this is out, she can't get mad. Or his family for breaking the surprise. So I'm just going to hit on some quick hits of NXT, the main roster, because right now they pretty much have the NXT Takeover Chicago 2. Basically, the pay-per-view is pretty much figured out, except for maybe one match added on. They already have 4 matches. It usually tends to be about 5 to 6. And they usually make 1 or 2 go pretty long, so that's why they only need that many. Whereas if you have the main roster that's going to have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 matches on the Money in the Bank 2018 card in Chicago on, I think it's June 17th. Takeover's June 16th. So, yeah, I fucking NXT doing it again, killing it, building up for a pay-per-view. You have basically, I will admit, I was wrong about the Velveteen Dream. He has made me come around and believe in him. Ricochet doing that flip outside of the ring, out of the ring onto the steps or the ramp coming down, and just the utter shock and distress in the Velveteen Dream's eyes / intrigue. He definitely had a moment of shock, but like the face, he didn't smile much. Like, he didn't smirk to give you this like weird look. Just shock and then walking away. Just totally sold me on it. I'm excited for that match. Velveteen Dream has made me a fan. Do I think Ricochet's a great person on the mic? I'm starting to come around thinking he should talk less. But other than that, I think it's going to be a great match. So they are going to compete at NXT TakeOver. Loving this. That's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing, people. Then you have the Undisputed Era taking, Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong taking on Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. Danny Burch and Roderick Strong are taking each other on next week's NXT, the NXT before the TakeOver. We got about 2 weeks, so maybe they're going to compete next week, and then the week after that's the go-home show for it. But that's going to be a good match. There's a lot of good workers, a lot of good work rate. Oney Lorcan, kind of a local guy. He's from, I believe, Mass. And I believe our friend of the show, Two Buff and Buff Dad, train with him or train at his school, I believe. I'm trying to remember that stuff, and just got a lot going on in my personal life, so might forget some things. Been forgetting a lot lately. You also have the street fight with Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa. Unreal. If they burn, they're going to burn the house down. If this isn't your main event, you're going to screw whoever comes on after it. This is a Shawn Razor ladder match at WrestleMania. Burn the house down, and anything behind it's not going to matter. WrestleMania 30, freaking Undertaker losing to Brock Lesnar. The next match is doomed no matter what. It is what it is. That's going to be a barn burner, as they like to say. It's just going to be unreal. Both work really well together. Both awesome performers. Tommaso Ciampa, you've done your job, man. I hate you. I hate you. That's what a heel is supposed to do, man. What else do you need? Just a guy that's going to destroy another guy that, he used to be his friend. We all have those situations in our lives. We all know people that have had to deal with that. So it makes sense. And it's still building, which is still good. His wife is kind of getting involved in it. Johnny Gargano's wife. She was involved in the beginning. Obviously now she's going to take a step back. Let her husband do whatever he wants, but she's not going to approve of it. You also have the NXT Championship going to be at this pay-per-view. That's why I feel like this match should not follow the Gargano-Ciampa match. This should be the match before this. Aleister Black, the champion, taking on Lars Sullivan. Now, Lars Sullivan, I've seen him live. I saw him wrestle Oney Larkin at one of the NXT live events in Rhode Island. Was I impressed? No. Was he a good 80s heel? Yeah, he's a big scary dude, man. And against Aleister Black, it makes sense. Just let him take on a big scary heel and let him run through him. He's this big, powerful guy. He has to outpower. He's going to have to try to outmaneuver the stronger guy. He's a littler guy. It makes sense. This is simple 80s, 90s, 80s prime booking. Just make the mismatch look good, which they're doing. I'm excited for this. I know it might not sound in my voice, but I'm excited because I just think Aleister Black is just so good. And I think Lars Sullivan can play the role that he needs to play for this match. Now, the host of the network, Dave Dawson, he has become a massive Aleister Black fan due to his entrance and his skill set. Bought him a shirt for Christmas. Aleister Black shirt. The Black Mass t-shirt. With like the hand missing fingers and stuff like that. Awesome. I love everything about him. I want to see this man come up to when he does come up to the main roster. No time soon. Doesn't have to be. Can be after WrestleMania next year. That seems crazy. But I can see that. Or at least till SummerSlam. I would like that. So, the other thing that I want to say that NXT is doing right. The build for Shayna Baszler versus Nikki Cross. Now, this might end up being the match that I think might be added on to Takeover. Right now, it's not confirmed. But that's what they say possibly is going to go on there. I'm excited for that. Because you have Shayna Baszler, MMA fighter, / just badass, and she's going to choke you out, she's going to break your arm, whatever. Nikki Cross is just a nutbag. She's the crazy Swiss, or Norwegian girl, or whatever she's supposed to be. Just nutball, and just running around screaming. I will say, her music drives me nuts. Because of the scream when it starts out. But you know who it is. It's like Braun. I get it. It makes sense. It's her calling card. She screams in the match. She screams when she does stuff. That's good. Just the music drives me nuts. Really excited for this whole event. The takeovers, they don't like to call them pay-per-views. They're pay-per-views or, network events. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be unreal. It's going to blow everything out of the water that the main roster is going to do. I will say this, also adding on to NXT, EC3. Looks good, sounds good, physically gifted, and just has the package. I think he's the next heel for Aleister Black. Makes sense to me. Or he's the next guy that Johnny Gargano is going to have to compete against. It's one of the two. Because Gargano interrupted EC3's match on the most recent NXT. So, on to the main roster, as they like to say, the Raw and SmackDown. By the way, I haven't touched on it yet. SmackDown got a new contract, I believe, with Fox. A lot of money. It's going to go to 3 hours, what I hear. Not liking that. Your Raw show isn't good at 3 hours. You're going to make the one show that is, for the most part, tolerable, SmackDown, you're going to make it 3 hours. How stupid can you be? Why would you do that to your fans, to yourselves, everything? I understand that. Is it fair that certain, performers have to be there for 3 hours a night versus performers only have to be there for 2 hours a night? I get it. You want everybody to have to deal with the same things. I also feel that, as they say, Raw is more the, the bigger show and whatever thing and yada, yada, yada. SmackDown's a more compact show because they fit in wrestling other than Raw. Raw, there is wrestling, but it's very little. The actual wrestling that happens on SmackDown tends to be a little bit more. It's always been that way. I also hear it might be like pre-taped, which I'm not cool with. Not at all. So anyway, we're on to Money in the Bank. So the women's Money in the Bank is going to be Ember Moon versus Charlotte Flair versus Alexa Bliss versus Becky Lynch versus Natalya versus Lana versus Naomi versus Sasha Banks. So there's 8 women. Obviously, Carmella, in air quotes, technically won it last year. I got Becky. I think she needs something, and they're going to try to build with her. Which, I don't know if that makes any sense on SmackDown with Carmella, but I just feel like they might give her the nod. It's either that or Sasha Banks, and let Sasha try to run at Naomi. Not Naomi, Nia Jax. After this, after the women's title match that will be on the card, this same card, they have Nia Jax versus Ronda Rousey. Now, I will say I'm not overly excited about that build and about that, what they're trying to build it around. I also think they could have stretched this out to like SummerSlam, like not have this happen until SummerSlam. It's a bigger match. Why not put it on that show? That's what I would do. I feel that would be the better deal. Right now, I understand Money in the Bank, they're making it out to be one of the bigger events. I get it. You don't have certain events anymore that were older and a little bit more established, like a King of the Ring and stuff. I get it. This is one of the bigger events. Obviously, why they have a Takeover on the same weekend. So, I'm not overly excited about it, but I'm excited to see Ronda in the ring again against just one person. So she has to do everything on one person. It's not focusing on. You can kind of get away with it a little bit with tricks with a tag match. You can kind of hide their lack of a better word, problems or their their issues that they have or their shortcomings. So then you have, on the opposite side, you have the SmackDown Women's Championship. You have Carmella versus Asuka. I'm sorry, Asuka should win. But they might have Carmella Healy win this match to kind of keep it going and kind of steal this one, or maybe just take her title and leave because it's just a singles match and not allow Asuka to get involved enough to win the match. Like, all right, I'm done. You're beating the crap out of me. I'm taking my title and I'm going home. That might be how it goes. I don't know. It just doesn't sound appealing to me. The Raw women's title sounds a little bit better just because I also want to see what Nia's going to do in the ring. Carmella has a lot of shortcomings, but I'm pretty sure Asuka can kind of help mask those. Nia and Ronda, they're both kind of green when it comes to like really putting down a match. So this is going to have to be really produced by whoever's the agent of the match. They're going to have to be good. Be very good to help them build that whole match. I'm excited. I think it can happen. I'm willing to see. I just think they could have waited a little bit longer, but it's just me nitpicking. So you also have the men's Money in the Bank. So you have Braun Strowman, Finn Balor, The Miz, Rusev, Bobby Roode, Kevin Owens, Samoa Joe, and one of the members of the New Day. Just hoping that it's Kofi, just because he deserves it, and the other two, I don't care about anymore. Enough said about them. Who's going to win? Joe would be an interesting win. I don't think it's going to be Rusev or Braun, because Braun doesn't need it, and Rusev they don't want to push. The Miz doesn't need it. I think he's going to always be in the mix, especially on SmackDown. And then Kevin Owens, I don't know what he is doing. He's kind of doing weird shit with Bobby Lashley and his buddy. We'll segue into that after. But it's just weird what he's doing with Sami Zayn and the Bobby Lashley's sister. And it's just weird. Or sisters, or whatever the hell's going on. I don't know. Bobby Roode? I think it's going to be Samoa Joe. I think it's going to be Samoa Joe. I would give it to Finn because he deserves it. Because he deserves a title shot. Because he never really got one since he won it and then had to give it up. I think he deserves it. I think it makes sense. But, hey, we all know what's going to happen. It's not going to be Finn Balor. What the fans want isn't going to happen. Braun obviously is the guy they want to push, but he doesn't need it. It's going to be somebody that needs it, like a Samoa Joe. I think that's my pick. My dark horse pick is Finn Balor, but I think it's going to be Samoa Joe. So kind of segue off of the KO thing, you have Bobby Lashley versus Sami Zayn. Could be a great match. Who cares about the build? I think that's what everybody's going to forget about after the match. But it could be a really good match. I really hope so. I have high hopes for it. I think Bobby Lashley has come a long way. I think Sami Zayn does a really good job in the ring. And I think he does well at being a heel. But he's also really good at setting up matches. He's very in the Macho Man-esque category when it comes to setting up a match. He wants to know what's going to happen. And he's very... he wants to spell it out before they get in the ring, whereas if most guys, okay, these are the things we need to hit, we'll call it in the ring. So one of us will lead the match, and I'll follow you, and we got to get to this point, and we'll both have input. It's going to be a good match. It's not going to be loved by most people because it was just such a horrible build to it, but it's going to be a good match. I really have high hopes for it. You got Roman versus Jinder Mahal. Yep, this is your bathroom break, people. This is the one. We used to say this about women's matches. I don't think that's the case with this with the now day and age. It's Roman Reigns' match or Jinder Mahal's. Not because Roman's not good or he's overly pushed or I have anything against him. I don't have anything against him at all. I don't think it's his fault that people hate him. I think it's because people are tired of getting him shoved down their throat, but it's not his fault. He didn't choose that. He doesn't decide what happens, when it comes to that. Like, he can only do so much. He does what they tell him, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. Jinder Mahal, I'm sorry, it's awful. And it's not his fault either. I think he did what they asked him to do before with the heel, with the, going up against, he's gone up against a couple of people. He had some good promos when he first started getting when he obviously got the big push of his life. But it's not that great. It's right now, it's really bad, and I don't know. I'm not going to try to shit on it. I just kind of did. But, to be fair, could go out there and have a halfway decent match. I think the problem is he's not a great worker. He's got a great look. He can cut a good promo if they give him the right keys to it or the right program. He can do a good job. Roman, too. Roman's not bad, people. It's just he is John Cena to us. That's what he is. I also not overly excited about the IC title match. Carmella versus Asuka. I think that's going to be... Oh, what did I say? Carmella versus Asuka? Jesus Christ. The Seth Rollins freaking Elias match. Wow. Yeah, no. Seth Rollins versus Elias. Elias is a great heel. He does a good work at what he's doing. He's not that great in the ring. But you can put him in the ring with a guy like a Seth Rollins that can kind of hide those shortcomings. I think that's going to be good. I think that's going to make a lot of sense to me. I'm really excited for that. Because I want to see what this really means. And the IC title, I think it's got a little bit of an importance again. I don't know 100% anymore like it used to be where it's like, hey, that's the next guy. Rollins has already been the guy. Is this his way of circling back around to the title? I don't know if he'll take it again from Lesnar. But, and that's the other thing. Lesnar's not here. He's not on this pay-per-view. He doesn't need to be because it's so fucking congested. But, he's not at the pay-per-view, so I don't know what's going to happen with him coming up. Here's another match. The SmackDown Tag Titles. Bludgeon Brothers versus The Club. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, the Good Brothers. I want to see The Club win, but I think they've invested so much in the Bludgeon Brothers and they haven't done a bad job. They deserve to keep the titles. I want to see the Good Brothers win, but I mean, what are you gonna do, man? Like that's what this is about right now. This is about what, in lack of a better words, is what Vince wants. But I also think Bludgeon Brothers are doing a good job. They've done everything they've been asked, and they're finally getting a chance to show a little bit, and maybe we'll finally get like a Luke Harper, singles run that he deserves, and get a legitimate singles run, not just a weirdo running around. Then you have the Daniel Bryan versus Big Cass. Yeah, think about that. Daniel Bryan versus Big Cass. Big Cass is not bad. I also think he's too skinny. I think that's his issue with a lot of people to buy into him. He's too skinny for being that tall. Sid Vicious was skinny, kind of built like him, honestly. I think he just looked bigger. He looked more menacing. Nothing about Big Cass looks menacing to me. And, his old tag partner Enzo, he just recently did like a rap song. It's out there on YouTube if you want to look it up. Enzo Amore out there rapping. I guess he's not going to be wrestling. Not a good song. Not a good song. So, yeah, that's what that is. But I want to see Daniel Bryan show I want him to go out there and showboat. And then, Cass, go out there and prove that he deserves to be in a prominent role. Both of them. Daniel Bryan knows he deserves to be there, and he is important to the company. But whether they're going to give him that push or not, go out there and just show him, like you did already. You've already done it. But go out there and just keep shoving it down their throat that they fucked up. Waiting that long for you to come back. Do it. Prove everybody wrong that Then that's the other thing. Some people are worried that he's just, a regular WWE machine. He just does his moves and gets out of the ring. I want to see something else. Prove it to me, Daniel. Prove it. Also, and then the last man standing match for the WWE title, AJ versus Shinsuke. I think Shinsuke should win. I think it would be really beneficial for the company. Be beneficial for him. It would be nice to see AJ chasing again. Especially now, a heel Shinsuke would be really cool. I would really dig that. Would be interesting, as they say. I really think AJ does a good job. I think Shinsuke does a good job. What else can I say about it? Like, they're both... How have they not had a great match yet? That's the one question you should ask yourself. How? That's what they should be asking themselves. How have we not put together a great match yet? Maybe this is the one. This is the one. I don't know. Maybe it's been the pressure of it and they, kind of folded under it, but I don't think AJ does that. Maybe it's Shinsuke that's nervous, and I don't think he is, but maybe he is. Maybe, being this far away from, his home country and for so long, maybe. I don't know. Or maybe he'll go out there and just prove me wrong. Just fucking light it up, bro. Go out there and destroy it. So that's kind of what's going on in wrestling. I went and saw... What was it? Deadpool 2. I think that was the last movie I saw. Really good. I don't know if it was as great as the original, because you kind of already knew it was going, what to expect from him. Loved a lot of stuff. Loved the, random Brad Pitt. I love the tease of the X-Men. I love the tease of Wolverine. And Cable, come on, man. I haven't talked to Jerry about it, but I would hope that, he loved the Cable that we got. I think he was good. Josh Brolin. This man, that guy is just cleaning up. He's making money. He's just printing it at this point. Printing the money. Printing the money. I will be seeing Solo soon. I don't know if I'm going to go tomorrow. On a personal note, I am buying a house. So that kind of inhibits what I'm going to be doing for the next couple weeks. All my money's going towards appraisal fees, insurance, lawyer fees, deposit money for the house. It just money, until you finally sign the papers and then you get 1 month of no spending other than your regular electric bill and simple things like that, and then the rest is you, buddy. You're on your own. The holiday weekend was pretty good. We got a little bit of crappy weather, but it is what it is, man. We live in New England. Memorial Day weekend was good. I felt horrible on Tuesday, but hey, man, I'll be fine. I came back, got my second wind about Thursday, and did a lot of extra work this weekend. I sold some of my action figures recently. Went actually today and sold pretty much all of my Walking Dead figures, and I have some pops I'm going to try to sell. Trying to get that money for some extra shit for the house that I'm gonna need, and also getting myself prepared for the CSW show. I got the CSW show coming up on June 30th at Grosso Tech in Groton, Connecticut. Going to be a great show. I know I keep talking about it, but it's legit going to be awesome. On just a quick figure hit, I pre-ordered the Shawn Michaels Retro Fest Rockers outfit that they did, GameStop exclusive. I went and pre-ordered it. Right now, the Macho Man is out there to get. Also hit up Toys R Us today. Nothing great. Just wasn't impressed by their selection. I get it. You know, they're going out of business. They're not overloading everything. A lot of stuff's gone. I'm just sad that I didn't really buy anything since this going out of business sale. And now the sales are finally taking off. The Legos are finally down to 30% off of Legos, and there's nothing there. There's nothing left. The only thing that's left is like weird stuff that I have no interest in. Or just overly expensive stuff that I wouldn't have paid for that price if it was, you know what I mean? Like some of it just not worth it. But yeah, this has been another little quick one, another little solo Aaron special. Hopefully by the next episode I'm gonna have an interview lined up with Nat Peterson, the promoter / all-around badass that's going to be putting on CSW. Have him on the week before the show, or maybe I'll do it next week and just save it, release it to you guys the week before the show. But really excited. A lot of big things moving in my personal life, for the show. Going to have Nat, going to try to get some interviews from the actual show. It's going to be fun, and I'm really excited about, not to even sound stupid, my future. What's happening in the world for me. So, yeah. Everybody have a great weekend. Stay safe, and peace.
I am in the top 1%.
And that's what makes you just you and me.
I'm in the top 1%. I'm in the top 1%.
Born and bred for success, for fame, spending every top dollar, my brand, my name. I don't complicate, I can taste your shame. EC3, changing the game. Get it, come and get it. Get it, come and get it. Get it, come and get it. And that's what makes you just you and me.